Good motherfucking morning, base. Good motherfucking morning, my ladies. How are you all doing today in this most beautiful of Sunday mornings, Saturday mornings? My bad. Good chillin', Gucci, Atamiguch. Fairly good, fairly many feels. Sorry, Forsen case. Yes. Ah, very nice. Raffle, yeah, that's true.
Hello, Mr. Force.
True. First Saturday. Hello.
Please come to my country, Ethiopia. Forsen, please come to Ethiopia. Mr. Force from Buddy's Black. Excuse here.
Okay, maybe I will, but first, no further links. Thank you. No further links. Alright, 70 Twix. Lost in the queue. Alright, Lord Saver. Okay, no further links. I'm checking this time. Strict Zilla, yeah?
Forsen, I'm your #1 fan here.
Are you? I think I'm my #1 fan.
-20, I guess.
At least. It's addicting, you know. Let's see, we got some clowns.
You can't link me.
Astrofane, Periaras, 21MT, 3 years. Mr. Force, my badge is frozen. Little Force and Fist, that it is. Very frozen. And Krillik's badge frozen as well. 3 years. Fistorino in my Acerino. Force and Fist. We're taking it too far, man. There's Zarge. Welcome back. Tantimatone with 8 years. I have some kind of clown badge now. Force and Clown. It's an 8 year, indeed. Yes. Thank you, boys. A lot of anniversary subs here. Kimuri 1 year. Please fist me hard, Mr. Force. Oh, you got a sound effect there. That must be hard. What's harder than being hard? Retard. Firusk. FTW with the prime sub welcome. Force and Kokona. And Punji.
Good evening, Mr.
Good
Force. I noticed that it's pretty cold in Sweden at the moment. Does that mean you are literally
Forsen!
Please clarify. -20.
Fake pots and scripted pots.
Yeah, I am. It's it was -11 when I checked, but obviously it differs. It's very cold, is what I'm trying to say. I can't find your fucking game there, Mr. Oxtoe guy. I don't see it. Unless you spell it wrong. Oh, okay. What is this? Top-down shooter. Looks like Hotline Miami. It looks very much like Hotline Miami. Yeah. We'll see about that one, sir. I checked it. I don't know. It doesn't look like it stands out a lot to me. Alright, no further links. I said, I said it. Tetris got broken. I thought someone already beat Tetris. I don't know. I thought some Asian guy already beat it a long time ago, but apparently not. I remember hearing something about it. Yeah.
Sugar is healthy. I need sugar. I'm eating all the sugar. I need more sugar. Need more sugar.
Alright, time for some links.
Never doubt sugar-free diet.
Never doubt. She eats sugar. Just saying. Or he.
年で1位取れたついにや幸せハッピーハッピーハッピーいや嬉しいわ去年頑張りましたソロライブも一つホロメンもさ入ってるしいいねこのミーのさ海外のサッカーチームの人がやばいみたいなさ感じでさ途中あったからさ大丈夫かなとか思ってたけどわーいわーいわーいいやよかった夢叶った口にするべきや夢は口にするべき2、3年前とか海外のストリーマーさん綺麗な姉ちゃんたちがめちゃくそ強かったんだよね勝てなかったのマジで
Hello, Forsen. I am from the future. Listen to me. There will be a huge civil war in here very soon. Between the Vol spammers and the Zulol spammers. The Vol spammers will win, and Zulol will be removed.
Didn't you say this before? But it never was.
そうな集計の仕方もなんかちょっとよくわかんない感じだったからまさかモチベ下がってやめないよなあんたたちペコーラが配信やめたら何が残るねんこれからマウントされますよって2023年去年の女性ストリーム世界一ペコですってもう世界一になったから
A bit late on this, but surely chat and others will enjoy this unbiased history on a topic that is not controversial at all.
As long as it has 50k plus viewers.
嬉しすぎるてか今日はもう遅いから明日の朝ツイートしようみんな知らないふりしといて世界一だっていうツイートするからおめでとうって言って明日の朝もう今日遅いから
Do you get any of that?
Americans, known for their many inventions, their massive cultural influence over the world, their iconic landmarks, their massive military strength, and their size. No, I'm not talking about you guys' landmass or population, which by the way aren't even that big. Now I'm talking about the country's massive obesity problem.
I don't know what a buck is. Fast food.
Aside from their gun laws, their use of weird metrics for no reason, and their lack of universal healthcare, Americans being fat is one of the main things the rest of the world makes fun of them for. And this topic is actually such a sensitive subject that in the past, American politicians have had their entire reputations ruined by fat jokes. But how bad is America's obesity epidemic really? Is it just a silly stereotype, or 73% of Americans are overweight? 42% of American adults are obese. Bro, the heaviest guy ever in the world's entire history was American. And that's right guys, I'm going to do the same thing that all the overly serious geography channels with 4K stock footage backgrounds and boringly normal political takes do, and compare America to Europe. Compared to America's 42% obesity rate, Europe clocks in at only 17%. And that 70% is literally all Turkey's fault, okay? I'm not even joking. If you remove the UK and Turkey from that statistic, Europe would have like minus obesity percentage, okay? And if you want to take the America pilled side on this,
Turkey
you could
is
argue
obese?
that compared to European food, American food just tastes better. And therefore, they eat more of it because it tastes nicer. Simple. That's kind of true in a way, but also completely not true in a way. For example, as much as I love a proper British meal, I'm not exactly going to be frantically binge eating beans on toast, you know? Also, take this Neapolitan pizza, right? Most people would agree it's really, really tasty, but it's not something you'd really get chemically addicted to and keep manically stuffing shoving more and more of
Technically, cheese is chemically addicting, but
them down your throat even if you're full. It's literally just bread, cheese, tomato and basil. It's not like that good. American food, on the other hand, is like the most addictive, Moorish drug ever. America has the second highest salt consumption per capita in the world, second only to their best mates, China. The USA also has the highest processed sugar consumption in the world, and this stuff literally makes your brain release dopamine, which is the same type of high you get off so basically, American food is just weak-ass crap, and for that reason it's a lot tastier for your dopamine-starved crackhead brain than boring, regulated European food. I mean, just wait till the Yanks find out about the UK's sugar tax. I'll get back to that in a second. I just got a quick question for you. Have you ever used public networks and felt completely unsafe and unprotected? Data breaches and malware don't lie, you know. The main reason why loads of European countries have taxes to make sugary products more expensive is so that these unhealthy foods don't become the most affordable option for poor people. As you can see on this map of America, these states in the Deep South are the poorest in the country. These same states are also the most obese in the country. This is because the cheapest food in America is also the unhealthiest, most addictive shit possible. Also, on average in America, the lower paying your job is, the more hours you work, meaning the poorer workers don't have time to cook proper meals, hence fast food. I mean, it's all good being
it's not about time, it's about the food being too expensive.
West Coast hipster food influencer telling everyone they need to start eating Greek yogurt, fresh fruit and granola every morning if they want to lose weight. But if all you can afford is Frosted Flakes, you're gonna have to get that.
It's not both true, alright? You can do a fucking giga cook and you will have food for the entire week, alright? It's not true, it's just that you are inefficient cooking, alright? Shut the fuck up.
Especially if you're chemically wired to only be able to wake up if you get your morning head rush of endorphin exploding sucrose. And then you factor in that this shit is actually marketed as healthy in the USA, and it's actually so over for any Americans that want to lose weight. It's a bit like how drinks like Prime are marketed as healthy sports beverages. Yeah, it might have less sugar, but realistically it contains like millions of toxic artificial sweeteners that will corrode away your internal organs faster than bleach would. Unfortunately, America's food industry is based more around marketing and selling a product for profit than actually providing decent scran for hardworking people. And the big food companies have one big trick up their sleeve to guarantee full obedience, addiction, and maximum profit from their American customers. MSG, the mystical white powder that, I quote, antagonizes your pancreas into pouring out more insulin, a hormonal cascade that makes you feel hungrier. So the food many Americans think stops their hunger actually makes them more hungry, and they eat way more food than they needed. Man, you know something has to be really bad for Pakistan to ban it. I mean, at least in Pakistan they use their legs, which is something that's completely unthinkable for a lot of Americans, since half of their cities and road networks are entirely built around accessing fast food chains and making sure people get as little exercise as possible. Less than 25% of Americans walk for more than 10 minutes continuously in a typical week. And I know you America-pilled guys might see public transport as pathetic, stupid, lefty nonsense, but realistically, the 12-minute walk from your house to the train and the 13-minute walk from your train to your work, for some people, could be the difference between being able to touch your toes and being morbidly ill. Also, another thing I wanted to quickly mention is how the US uses fast food addiction to economically colonize other countries. For example, the Marshall Islands, Guam, Micronesia, just loads of the Pacific Island nations. These countries once had extremely natural diets, mainly consisting of fish, which this part of the world is...
Well, I mean, nothing we don't really know, right, chat?
This is Willis, aka Blue Scooty, setting a new world record for the longest game of NES Tetris by getting the first ever level 157. But something unexpected is about to happen. He just became the first person ever to trigger a game crash, reaching the true kill screen, which is by far the biggest achievement in the 34-year-old history of the Pro Classic Tetris scene. So why is this such a big deal? And can a record like this ever be broken? To answer both those questions, we need to go back and start with the first unbeatable barrier in the game. In NES Tetris, released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989, the goal is to assemble falling blocks to clear complete lines. For every 10 lines cleared, you move up a level and the speed gets a little bit faster. The fastest speed is reached at level 29, and at this point the pieces can no longer reliably get to the sides by holding down the side-to-side buttons. For decades, this was considered the end of the game, and level 29 got dubbed the kill screen because it always killed your run. Except it wasn't a kill screen in the traditional sense. In retro games, a kill screen normally refers to when it's impossible to get any further due to a glitch in the game's code. For example, in Pac-Man, the kill screen is reached at level 256, where a glitch garbles the entire right side of the screen and you aren't able to eat enough white dots to clear the level. NES Tetris doesn't actually have a glitch at level 29. The level is clearable if you can somehow figure out a way to move the pieces faster. And in 2011, Thor Ackerlund became the first person to reach level 30 on video by vibrating his fingers to mash the controller faster than the game's built-in speed, a technique known as hyper tapping. And because level 29 is the maximum speed in the game, all the levels afterwards don't get any faster, so it was theoretically possible to go even higher. Thor's level world record would stand for 7 years, until a teenage hyper tapping prodigy, Joseph Saley, broke it in 2018 by becoming the first player to reach level 31. Joseph's skill would allow him to win 2 Tetris World Championship titles in 2018 and 2019, and he slowly kept pushing the level world record upwards all the way to level 35, until an even faster hyper tapper, Eric ICX, came along and became the first to reach levels 37 and 38. Now this was light years ahead of what anyone would have expected when the game first came out, but overall progress on the record was still slow because hyper tapping only barely made level 29 speed possible. Deep runs into the 30s still required getting good luck with the pieces and near perfect placements with almost zero margin for error. In order to truly push things a lot further, some kind of breakthrough was needed. But then a new technique came along that would change everything.
Oh yeah, I remember we watched something.
In 2020, a Tetris player named Cheese watched a video on various button mashing strategies and had the epiphany to combine a multi-finger technique by Hector Fly done on arcade cabinets and another technique that used a finger on the bottom of the controller to push it into another finger on the top. He called this new technique rolling, and it allowed him to easily reach button mashing speeds over twice as fast as the quickest hyper tappers. He became the first player to ever reach level 40, and although a hyper tapper named Alex Thatch would end up taking the record back, he would be the last tapper ever to do so. Over the next few months, there was a flurry of new records as most of the top players in the scene switched over to the new rolling technique, culminating in Eric ICX, now a roller, shattering the record in 2021 by making it all the way to level 95. With the fastest speed in the game now fully mastered, it seemed like the sky was the limit for how far players could go, but an even bigger challenge than speed was looming on the horizon.
They seem to be doing it so fucking slow though.
NES Tetris was originally designed with 10 normal-looking color palettes for levels 0 to 9 that were bright, colorful, and easily visible. Every time you go up 10 levels, the game then loops back around to the first color scheme. But because this game was coded in the 1980s, everything is written to try and be extremely memory efficient. So the line of code that's supposed to determine the level color glitches out starting at level 138 and starts pulling data from outside the color table, resulting in a bunch of random, bizarre color palettes that can be difficult to see. If you're into code and wondering exactly how and why this happens, Hydrant Dude has a great 2-minute explainer video on the subject that I'll link in the description. Obviously the colors glitch wasn't a problem when the game first came out because making it to level 1 happened later on, such as level 235, which lasts for 800 lines instead of the typical 10. But eventually the game just can't function anymore.
And there's the long bar, and it's gonna crash the game with that Tetris into level 237. Its final score is 102 million.
So what's going on here? In the simplest possible terms, the game is running on code, which is instructions on what to do next, and RAM, which is its workspace where it calculates things and keeps track of what it's doing. The game's code starts to become really inefficient on very high levels because no one was expected to get this far, and eventually a glitch happens where the game switches from reading instructions from the code to reading the RAM as if it were code. If the resulting garble generates a stop command, it completely breaks the game, leading to it being called the true kill screen. If you want the full technical breakdown, again, Hydrant Dude has a great video on the topic that I'll link in the description. But here's the thing, the game crash doesn't always happen in the same spot, because the glitch can get triggered by very specific things depending on the level, such as what piece you have or how many lines you clear at once. And Stack Rabbit was actually playing on a modified version of the game that has 7 digits in the score counter instead of 6, so it didn't have the same crash spots as an unmodified version. In 2022, there was a massive effort put into researching the mechanics of the crash.
Huge props to the 13-year-old though. Getting a world record, yes. Alright, 21 MT, do you think for 3 years? Photos of my bed. Oh, I read that already, so my bad.
Oh, look at this. What are you wiping the windows?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's nice and shiny.
Well, it's a 78.
Yeah, it's looking good. Looks really good.
Yeah, it's got original paint too. I mean,
yeah.
People that owned this thing before me must have.
You got too many links, Chad.
Long Island,
Shut the
New
fuck
York
up.
garage every day of its life.
Oh, go figure. Look at this. Oh, look at this.
Got it for $700. It's real clean. You can work on it. It's whatever. The things are not packed real close together. There's still a lot of room to work on. So with that consideration, you know, I'll go down.
You still do it.
Park that $700.
Park that. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Look at this. You know, when I see a car like this, first thing I do is I say, "Would you look at this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
The car is not perfect.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, well.
What the heck is that? Oh, look at this. You got me running all around the car.
Yeah, the only.
Oh, would you look at that?
Put that
just
on.
Look at that.
I can't pull it out either. I'd have to drill it.
Would you just look at it?
Yeah, it's sad. It's the only mark.
I mean, just
car.
look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, just get a look at that.
A cop did that.
A cop. Oh, where is he? I'd like to look at him.
Yeah, I went over and tried to fight it.
Yeah.
They told me we're not required to post warnings here in New Jersey.
Oh, would you look at that?
It's
Listen, I got pulled over in Jersey twice for not wearing a seatbelt in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
In the passenger seat.
Really?
And got a $40 ticket.
Yeah,
I said, would you look at that?
The way they didn't
Would you look at that? Would you look at it? I was so mad.
Basically, they got to earn their money the old-fashioned way.
Whenever a cop writes you out a ticket, the first thing you do is you take the ticket and you say, would you look at this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if I'd have done that, the cop did it and I wasn't there that night.
Yeah, you should have said, look at this, and that would have probably got you off if you told him to look at it.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I went over there the first time to
look
fight
at this.
it.
Yeah, you got to look at it.
And
Yeah.
the cop
Look at this.
wasn't there.
Right, because he had to look at it first.
He didn't show up.
Yeah, because he had to look at it, because he had to look at this.
You know what the judge did?
He probably told you to look at it.
Postponed
Oh,
the
son
case.
of a... He probably had to look at it and say, look at this.
And I asked him the second time I went.
And then he...
I figured I was just going to get off.
And then he
until
said,
the
look
judge
at it,
told
right.
me.
And he said, look at this.
And I asked the cop, where were you the last time? He said,
The last time he said, look at this.
My guess is
He probably did that. Oh, would you look at this?
American humor.
Rebecca, and Richard. Those are Rias, and those are actually more similar to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, do not do it. Emmanuel? Emmanuel Todd Lopez. Emmanuel. That brings me great joy in my soul that you listened. I love you. You are a good boy. Come here. Come show them how big you are. Everybody thinks you and Humpty are the same type of cow. This is a... Emmanuel, do not do it. Emmanuel, don't do it! Emmanuel! Don't do it. I'm trying to educate people right now, okay? Can you just stop? Inches tall. Emmanuel, every time, Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, don't choose violence today. Please, every day we go through this. Gosh, it's never ending. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to stop in and give a quick thank you to everyone who has liked, supported, left a comment, shared, and just supported me in any way over the last few weeks. It means the world to me as someone who's been creating content since 2013 and someone that's always been an animal lover. It's amazing to me. Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, I'm trying to tell them thank you. Buddy, I'm trying to tell them thank you. Don't do it. Don't. Emmanuel. Bud. I'm trying to tell them thank you because they've been supporting us on the internet. I know you don't know what the internet is, but you're literally kind of famous on there, okay? I'm trying to tell them thank you. Is there anything you want to say? All right, you heard it here first, folks.
Emmanuel, don't do it. Stop it.
At 7:15 p.m. on February 7th, 2008, a series of violent sugar dust explosions devastated the Imperial sugar refinery in Port Wentworth, Georgia, just outside Savannah.
Good.
Explosions raced through the buildings, fueled by accumulations of combustible sugar dust and sugar that had spilled from equipment. Thick concrete floors heaved up, and brick walls were blown into stairwells and work areas, blocking many exit routes. Fires spread rapidly. 8 workers died at the scene. 6 more died later at a regional burn center. Dozens of others were injured. The plant's massive sugar-packing buildings were a total loss.
And millions were saved.
The accident at Imperial Sugar was the deadliest industrial dust explosion in the United States in decades. It highlights the extremely serious nature of combustible dust hazards.
There were significant accumulations of sugar dust and spilled granulated sugar on surfaces throughout this facility. Conditions were set for a catastrophic accident.
Imperial Sugar's sprawling Port Wentworth complex began operations in 1917 and grew to become one of the largest sugar refining and packaging facilities in the U.S. Granulated sugar from the refinery was stored in 3 100-foot-tall silos and then conveyed into packing buildings where it was packaged for distribution. Granulated sugar was also converted into specialty products, such as brown sugar and powdered sugar. Sugar was transported by a complex system of bucket elevators, screw conveyors, and conveyor belts. During this process, sugar spilled onto floors throughout the work area. In places, the spilled sugar was many inches deep. This sugar also contained fine particles which became airborne. In addition, hammer mills were used to crush the granulated sugar into powdered sugar, creating even more dust. The machines were connected to a dust collection system, but it was undersized and in disrepair. And it was not connected to the bucket elevators and conveyors. Significant amounts of sugar dust escaped into the work areas. Workers routinely used compressed air to clean packaging machines, further dispersing sugar dust throughout the buildings. Over time, large amounts of dust accumulated on elevated, hard-to-clean surfaces, such as ducts, beams, and light fixtures. These surfaces were not cleaned often enough to always keep the dust below hazardous levels. In the tunnel beneath the sugar silos, granulated sugar flowed through chutes onto a long steel conveyor belt. From time to time, clumps of sugar would become stuck in one of the chutes, blocking the flow of sugar on the belt, spilling sugar onto the floor and releasing dust into the tunnel. But the tunnel was large and ventilated, so this airborne dust did not build up to explosive concentrations. However, in 2007, the company enclosed the conveyor belt with stainless steel panels to protect the sugar from possible contamination. The enclosure was not equipped with a dust collection system. As a consequence, sugar dust would now be trapped inside this enclosure. On February 7, 2008, clumps of sugar were found blocking one of the discharge chutes. Sugar from the adjacent silo likely spilled off the moving belt. Dust likely accumulated to an explosive concentration inside the enclosure. At about 7:15 p.m., the sugar dust contacted a nearby ignition source, likely an overheated bearing, and exploded. This primary explosion blew apart the enclosure and vented into the packing building. Accumulated sugar was lofted and ignited by the advancing fireballs. The dust clouds fueled a chain reaction of secondary explosions, which swept through the buildings. concrete floors buckled, releasing tons of granulated and powdered sugar into the flames. Emergency evacuation drills had not been conducted, and the explosions had cut the power to much of the interior lighting. In the maze of darkened and damaged stairwells and passageways, workers desperately tried to flee the growing inferno.
Told you sugar was bad for you.
Every person who was caught on To Catch a Predator was a scumbag. However, some were scummier than others. Clifford Eric Wallach is arguably the worst man caught on To Catch a Predator. It wasn't for what he said, but for what he brought with him.
Oh no, he brought his son.
Bro, just as I thought I've seen every single one of these fucking Predator clips, they keep coming with new ones. Like how? They don't make the show anymore.
Son with him. He's got his child with him.
Wallach brought his 5-year-old son with him to the Sting House, something no other Predator had done. Because of this, Dateline NBC decided not to conduct an interview, and Chris Hansen instead flat out told the 40-year-old what was going on.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. We're doing a story on adults eating children, and since you have your child here, I'm not going to pursue this. Okay. But I think you know what you were doing here, don't you?
No, I was just doing the fixing the pollution.
After leaving the house, police took the child away and arrested Clifford Wallach. Wallach's wife came to pick up the child later, and Clifford was interrogated. When asked why he did it, Wallach blamed his wife, saying she wouldn't get intimate with him. This is what led him to chat with a 14-year-old boy online and then drive to the teenager's house. Upon reflection, it didn't appear that Clifford Wallach was going to involve his son with whatever he was planning on doing at the Sting House. Instead, it seems that Wallach's wife was at work, and Clifford had to watch their son.
Please give me my son, please.
Despite Clifford's pleas, he would not be allowed to see his son. After the arrest, the Department of Child and Family Services decided that Wallach could not continue living with his child. This forced Clifford Wallach's wife to choose to stay with her son or with her husband. Despite everything Clifford had said and done, she decided to stay with him, and their son had to live with relatives. As for Wallach himself, he faced some serious charges. Rather than plead guilty and try to get a lighter sentence, Wallach decided to go to trial and fight the charges. Part of the reason why Clifford, the big red perv, might have taken this chance is that his chat log was extremely short, and there was nothing on it that would indict him. Wallach instead decided to talk to the 14-year-old boy over the phone, who was really an adult pretending to be a child. That's where Clifford explained exactly what he wanted to do to the boy. Presumably, the 40-year-old thought there wouldn't be any record of what he said, since it wasn't typed. However, the conversation was recorded by the Florida law enforcement, and this would be used during Clifford Wallach's trial. Another reason Clifford may have decided to fight rather than settle is that he came from a well-off family, and his wife was continuing to support him. Anyways, Wallach eventually had his day in court. His attorney argued that Clifford Wallach was just fantasizing and never intended to do anything with the person he thought was 14. The lawyer repeated Clifford's own claim that Wallach was just going to take his son and this teenager out to eat. Wallach's attorney concluded that the jury was being ordered to be thought police and it wasn't against the law to have a fantasy. The jury didn't buy the argument and found Clifford Wallach guilty of the charges brought against him. On January 8th, 2008, over 2.5 years after getting caught, the now 42-year-old appeared in court for his sentencing. He pleaded with the judge and made one last attempt for leniency. Clifford Wallach said, quote, "Your Honor, I deeply regret the decisions that I made on April 23rd, 2006, and do not blame the efforts of my mistakes on the Fort Myers Police Department or perverted justice. I believe that these organizations were working on behalf of the best interests of the public. I have no one to blame but myself for the current situation that I'm in. Sir, I have caused an enormous amount of national humiliation for my family that should have never happened. Your Honor, I am pleading with you for mercy. I have already been punished beyond means, and sir, I am begging you for leniency in your decision for punishment. I would like to start picking up whatever pieces I have left and try to put them back together. I know that it'll take a lot on my part to repair all the pain and suffering that I've caused." While this may seem heartfelt, a comment years later would tell a different story. In 2020, Clifford Wallach made a post on a website called the Florida Action Committee. There he said, quote, "I was also entrapped by a sting in 2006 and was made an example of from the state. Out of 34 people arrested, I was one of the few that went to prison. My mistake was hiring a lawyer that wasn't part of the good old boys club in Fort Myers." Going back to the sentencing in 2008, Clifford Wallach was given 5 years in prison, one of the harshest punishments for anyone caught on To Catch a Predator, although he could have faced up to 10 years behind bars. Wallach also had to register as a lifetime offender. At this point, Clifford would also give up his parental rights over his son, who it seems like was continued to be raised by relatives. After the sentencing in January 2008, Wallach would spend the next 5 years of his life behind bars in Florida. Clifford gave some insight into his time in prison in the previously mentioned Florida Action Committee comment. Wallach said, quote, "The prison was a nightmare. Being abused by the Department of Correction Police was worse than the abuse I took from other inmates. They kept moving me from camp to camp until finally I was able to be placed at a protective custody camp. The whole ordeal was a nightmare. Not only was I entrapped, but since this was done by a vigilante group and Dateline NBC, it was run over and over again, especially during my trial. I ran out of money during my appeal and suffered." In early 2012, Clifford Wallach's prison sentence was up, and he was released, but did have to serve a 10-year probation, which, of course, he is no longer serving. Now as a free man, Wallach reunited with his wife, and the two would later have another son together. It appears that Wallach stayed in Florida after being released. According to Chris Hansen's podcast, Predators I've Caught, Clifford lived in a gated community in Palm Beach County, Florida. The house was valued at $500,000 to $1 million and used to be owned by Wallach's parents, who had passed away. Additionally, sometime after prison, Clifford became the owner of a construction business. It's believed that the company was run by his family, which explains how Clifford got involved with it. The company even had some lawsuits over unpaid work that Clifford Wallach won. While it sounds like Wallach's post-prison life was all sunshine and rainbows, Clifford himself tells a different story. In the same comment on the Florida Action Committee, Clifford said, quote, "I lost everything after prison. My children, my family, everything I owned was gone. To this day, 15 years later, I am still suffering. No one will hire me, and I feel stuck in this state. Since being released, I've held a few jobs until they found out about my prison stay by the vigilante group and subsequently fired." Wallach would do something about being stuck because, in 2021, he moved from Florida to the small town of Monticello, New York. Additionally, it appears that Clifford is no longer married.
People that just go and harass the sexual
it was discovered that
predators
Clifford Wallach's marital status was listed as single on a document relating to Clifford's Florida home. This document was from July 2021. It seems that 15 years after he was caught on To Catch a Predator, Clifford's wife finally left him. There's no information on what Clifford Wallach's relationship is with the son he brought to the Sting House, but the boy is 22 years old as of 2023. Wallach lost a lot when he appeared on To Catch a Predator, but this guy arguably lost even more. To find out what happened to the doctor, watch the video.
I've seen that one.
I regret to inform you, the men are not okay. That's right, folks, the men are not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no money, are breaking their legs and inserting metal rods into their bones to be a few inches taller, and listening to AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
Turns out the society that was built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes. And if you have a problem with that, tune into literally anything else. Men are in a crisis, and it seems nobody really cares. And the people who do care just seem like the people who want to sell them shit. Not me. I'm different. So before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Holtzgren.
New study explains
childless by 2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The she-economy is booming, as they say. And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right. Yeah, men, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society. Perhaps we should address this, not just wave it off as empowering or pathetic. According to several different articles, I love how that's my source, I read about it on the internet, research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori. Did I say that right? I don't care. Basically postmodern hermits. Mostly young men who completely withdraw from society, secluding themselves in their rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society. So basically, if you want to know America's future, look no further than Japan. A lot of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology. RIP to the king. Although technology makes things easier, it can also make us more atomized. Why go to the mall when I can just tap, buy a new microphone and have it shipped to me in a day? Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I can just tap, Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5. Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey, who even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI girlfriend? We're f***ed. We're so f***ed. Dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. You know, we're the ones who carry the babies. At least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and the window shopping
I would argue men are
probably
very
has to
picky.
do a lot with the rise of lonely single men.
That's
Men
why
are not
there are
just
so
lonely when
many
it comes to
lonely
dating,
men.
they're lonely when
They'd
it comes
rather
to
be lonely
friendship
than
too. According to
lower
Vox,
their
Americans
standards.
are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships. Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so difficult. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal, sockdem, leftists, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Recently, there were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that, you know, men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you.
You don't have to fight it, alright? Mother Nature does that for you. Natural selection.
Alright, you guys.
Alright, it will balance out in the end. Population decline.
This woman was doing 3 sets of attention seeking to failure when she caught a man staring at her. Grandpa is training his eyes to failure, and he doesn't
Looks like Sopranos guy. I forgot his name. You know, the
care about being called a gym creep. Shortly after this happened, Grandpa was seen at the club with his friends dancing and enjoying life. This woman realized that someone took the weights off the machine in between her sets. She does need to bring a towel because she wipes the machine with her long hair after using it. And she is dressed like this because the gym turns into a nightclub after 9 PM and she came prepared. This woman is a bodybuilder because she is pregnant. And if she keeps doing these heavy hip thrusts while being pregnant, her baby will come out looking like a Corolla with a dent. The guy in the background felt like he was in a bakery because he saw too much cake and he didn't like it. He didn't like to see the guy's ass because it made him doubt his masculinity. Here is a guy who tore a muscle doing weighted dips, and if you listen closely, you can hear something pop. This woman was lifting on a lifting platform designed for weights to be dropped on, but then another girl approached her mid-set to tell her not to drop the weights. Someone called Jonathan Frakes because it's hard to tell if this story was true or fiction. Everybody wanna be a bodybuilder, but don't nobody wanna re-rack his weights. That's what this machine is for. It helps you to re-rack your weights. But if you can't put your weights back by yourself, it means you're not strong enough to use them.
I mean, she's not really wrong about not dropping the weights. You should never really have to drop the weights unless you feel like you're gonna hurt yourself on the way down. You should just do it without dropping the weights.
Shoulder press was more like a shoulder press. This broccoli head took resting in between sets too seriously. Folded like the new Samsung flip phone, and that's why you never skip breathing day.
Classic.
This is a great gym community right there. Everyone is minding his own business. This woman was struggling to put the rubber weights on the bar, but then a guy came over to show her how it's done.
Whoa, rubber weights? Though, what the fuck? I've never seen this my entire life. Rubber weights? That's so stupid.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
What?
The guy didn't care if she has a boyfriend because he has the Nike Air Max 90 reverse duck camo shoes. She may not have been able to get the plate on the bar, but she managed to say thank you. This guy here failed the lift, but he controlled the bailout. The guy in the background must have thought, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, buddy. Lightweight.
If it dies, it dies.
Gandalf the White. Gandalf the Fool. Who can play that game? Saruman the White. Or should I say, Saruman the Stupid. What? Saruman the Silly. Stop that. Saruman the Wrinkly. Stop. Saruman the Stinky! No!
I haven't watched Lord of the Rings. Oh, fuck, did I just watch?
You are not a bad person for noticing beautiful women. You are not a superficial person for preferring to have a pretty girlfriend over an ugly girlfriend. It is completely normal and natural. Men look for fertility cues in a partner. That is a deeply rooted evolutionary instinct that is imprinted into our biology. When sizing up a potential partner, we look for somebody who is attractive. That is a fact of life. As much as the culture would like to have you believe that this is an exclusively male phenomena, that only men judge people based on their appearance, it's absolutely not true. Women do the exact same thing.
Who do you think cares more about physical attractiveness, men or women?
I think it depends on the person. Definitely. I mean, stereotypically men, but it's probably equal.
As you just saw, women are extremely reluctant to admit that they pay attention to physical looks. But there have been numerous scientific studies that demonstrate that as much as men are guilty of doing this, women are as well. You might think that it's only men who are checking out women's bodies, but there was a study done that showed that women are looking at other women's bodies just as much. In that study, they used eye tracking technology to see where people looked when they didn't think they were being watched. and the results showed that they went straight for the breasts. Both genders would look at a woman's breasts even more than they would look at her face. They found that the more attractive a woman's body was, larger breasts, more narrow waist, the longer both men and women would look at her. So why is it then that men catch all the heat when it comes to perving? Well, the answer is probably that men aren't that subtle about it, and women know how to sort of steal glances without anybody else noticing. It's not that they commit less crimes, they're just better at not getting caught. But what I want to establish from the absolute outset of this video is that looking at other people's bodies is completely normal and natural. And nothing that I'm about to say in this video is in any way meant to judge or shame you for looking at women. Having said that, you should stop looking at women. I'm not saying that because I think that it's sexist or anything like that to look at women. I'm not saying that because I think we need to collectively do women a favor by not looking at them. I think that's all nonsense. If a woman's wearing a miniskirt or a low-cut top, she wants to be looked at. Don't be a creep about it. Don't like stare at her and make her uncomfortable. But let's be real, she's wearing those clothes and showing off her skin because she wants people to notice. So if a beautiful woman walks past and she's showing off a lot of skin, I'm not saying don't look at her as a favor to her. She probably wants you to look. I'm saying don't look at her as a favor to you. If you turn your neck and steal a glance, that's not good for you. That's not good for your mindset. I'm going to explain why. When you see a beautiful woman and you admire her body, it gives you a little jolt of pleasure. Your body perks up. Your mind starts to get excited. This is your evolutionary reward system being activated. It is your body's way of telling you, yes, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. Please make me see more of this. This is good. Biologically, the genes inside your body want to reproduce. They want to get passed on to the next generation. And so your body is designed to reward you when it seems like you're moving in the direction of making that happen.
This guy has the most lukewarm takes I've ever seen.
Oh my god! Not this again!
You will never escape my craft.
It's time, Mr. Forsen.
I think it's time for you to update your browser.
Dudley, Rhino broke his leg! Giant killer, busts Rhino! Rhino goes head! Steel chair! Out of the best footing! With a hard time on the exit drop!
Why does it look like an overgrown Chucky doll?
Get Spike out of there! Come on, get Spike out of the ring! Little Spike Dudley launched it! Spike's got another chair! No!
same one fucking table, dude. Getting lapped. He's never catching up. Wasn't even close, man.
Alright, pull my coat on this now. What happens if you give all that? Travis Shaban.
We are going into the Valley of Clouds, the water turbo valley of the wind. Well, this may be more exciting than cleavage of your wife. Captain, how do you know about my wife? Because I always tear it on the weekend. What?
Hey, I'm tending to Rizzo welfare to
What shall I do for you, dear Mr. Rizzo? Is it okay with the milk which flowed from my breast?
Great! My jambo jet flies cheerfully.
What the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck?
What is that?
What's your favorite color?
Get away from me. What is this thing? What is this creature? Oh, this is painful. I wish I could go back 30 seconds when I didn't have to see this.
And what is this Godzilla?
There's a little 10-year-old here. Oh no. Get out of this server while you can, little man. You don't want to be here.
No, I don't get out.
Look at that thing over there, mate. Look at that. You don't want to be here. This kid needs to get out of this server.
Hey, shut up! Shut the fuck up.
I think he's too far gone. Nah, what the fuck is this?
That means they like dogs.
Yeah, I think they like dogs a little too much. Hey man, I think you've got a tumour on your head. Oh, you get to make your own pony? Suggestive lips lick. What the fuck? Cutie mark? We can make our own cutie mark? Can I get like an image of Greg Paul? Please. Bro. We got the Greg Paul cutie mark. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Greg's out on the prowl now. Oh, what a nice little tricycle ride.
I fucking saw that.
Oh, Club Cam. Let's give that a visit. All staff and customers must be self-aware and respect the fetishes of others. What is going on? I can't even show what I'm looking at. What the fuck? Yeah, I think it's time to close the peaceful morning.
Bro, what the fuck you doing, dog?
Yeah, I think that's for the best.
Can you like not do that thing?
No?
You do realize that you can't just prop block doors, right?
I'm gonna do it as soon as you let me go. Alright, we're free. Time to do it again. There we go. Much better. Oh no, not kicked. Oh, is this thing on my head? It nearly has 5 weeks worth of player time.
You're gonna be my accountability buddy. That means I'm accountable for you, and you gotta be accountable for me.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Right, I got the whole cuck squad on me.
You are mine, you are mine.
I can smell the grease on their breath already. So I've joined back with like my 4th account, because every time they figure out it's me, it's like an infestation of neckbeards swarm on my position. I don't know what the fuck this is. 600 sit-ups, 600 crunches. Yeah, I don't think anyone on this server's ever done any physical exercise. I want to see a pony fly. Oh yeah, it's getting some good airtime. Let's see how good this one flies. Oopsies. Oh, what is this? Some sort of car meet-up? Don't mind if I do a bit of bowling, do that.
Alright. Very interesting. Go.
I just don't know who I am without you. Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend, boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure.
I always knew you were special. Maybe this is how.
It's impossible.
This movie was so fucking shit. I love it. I couldn't even finish this shit. Can't believe so many people went to watch that shit.
You're not the type.
Keep your hands up. Higher.
Why should I do what you tell me to do if you're going to kill me anyway?
Because if you do as I say, maybe I won't.
Well, this is one mess you're going to have to clean up for yourself. I am going to lower my hands now and leave. Good night, Ward.
Well, hey. So you still here, huh, tough guy? Oh, you got a gun, I see. Well, damn, you are tough.
Doug. Honey. You wouldn't hurt me. Would you, sweetheart? Sweetheart. Be reasonable. After all, we're married.
Consider that a divorce.
Classic.
Stop. Shoot.
No, you won't, son.
Previously.
Despite what you may think, I am not the enemy. We are not the enemy. But if you shoot me, that's exactly what we'll become.
Stop. I will. I'll shoot you.
I don't know. Do you really think this is the first time I've shot someone?
This page.
Records indicate you will show mercy. You are an associate of the doctors.
I'm River, so check your records again.
Mercy.
Say it again.
Mercy.
One more time.
Mercy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Mercy
you heard.
Main.
What I said was you, Mr. Thompson, and this coon here could all go fuck each other. Right. Oh, fucking tough guy. You gonna shoot me for mouthing off?
I wasn't going to, but you kind of talked me into it.
What are you gonna do with that, Vi? Shoot me? Kill me in cold blood? I don't think so. If you were gonna shoot me, Vi, you'd have done it a long time ago, but you didn't. And I'll tell you why. You don't want to shoot me, Vi. I know you don't.
Caesar, you don't know shit.
You wouldn't kill me. You'd miss me.
Yes.
Die, fuck!
I never miss.
Take your hands off.
Never misses.
This is a private conversation. It's none of your concern. Run along.
Move the fuck away.
Are you gonna shoot me now? You do realize I'm a vampire. You could empty every round in me, and I'll heal.
You
Silver
wouldn't
bullets.
dare attack a queen!
Maybe I forgot to mention something to you. I don't believe in queens.
She was a whore. Say that word again. And what? You'll kill your own father in the privy? No. You're my son. Now, enough of this nonsense.
I am your son, and you sentenced me to die.
Enough. We'll go back to my chambers and speak with some dignity.
I can't go back there. She's in there.
Are you afraid of a dead whore?
No way. I sure as hell know the same way you couldn't let an innocent man be executed, that you can't shoot an unarmed man.
But he could.
Our next movie is McBain. Another shoot 'em up, push him through the plate glass window, splattered
Bane.
best from the Hollywood cookie cutter. Here's a typically brainless scene.
Senator Mendoza is one of the most respected citizens in this state, McBain. And you ran his limo off a cliff, broke the necks of 3 of his bodyguards, and drove a bus to his front door?
But Captain, I have proof that he's head of an international drug cartel.
I don't want to hear it, McBain! You're out of here!
That makes 2 of us. Ooh, McBain.
Hey, McBain, you keep eating them hot links, you're never gonna make it to a pension.
Come on, live a little, Scoy.
No, thank you. Got me a future, partner. I'm 2 days away from retirement. My daughter's graduating from college.
Little Susie's growing up.
And as soon as we nail Mendoza, my old lady and I are gonna sail around the world like we always wanted. We just christened the boat. Oh, yes, sir. Everything's gonna be just Damn. McBain.
Yes?
I'm not gonna make it.
Oh, stop talking crazy.
No. Just do one thing for me. Get Mendoza.
Mendoza!
You want to rent it, sir?
Why? I just saw the best part. But, Captain, I can't avenge my partner's death with this pea shooter.
I don't want to hear it, McBain. That cannon of yours is against regulations. In this department, we go by the book.
By book.
My friends, tonight we unveil my most diabolical creation. Swank. 10 times more addictive than marijuana. To human misery.
Nice to see you.
McBain!
Nice to see you.
Ah, McBain. So glad you could make it.
Good
Have
price.
a salmon puff.
All right.
Oh, sugar-free cookies. Propaganda. American propaganda. Don't believe them.
That is one evil dude.
Well, then, let's move on to new business. Have you taken care of McBain?
You don't have to worry, Senator Mendoza. By now, our dear friend, McBain, has met with a, shall we say, unfortunate accident.
Excellent. With McBain out of the way, nothing can stop us. Any more new business?
Only your death.
McBain!
Meeting adjourned.
$250 for this?
What a chip.
He certainly broke up that meeting.
Right now, I'm thinking about holding another meeting in bed.
Oh, McBain.
McBain.
He's not the one that I'm interested in.
For this.
Is that Hillary Clinton?
Now then, that would bring us to...
Either way, it's scripted, chat. Alright.
So what would actually happen to your body if you actually gave up sugar for 2 short weeks? And I know a lot of people will tell you that the trend for eating sugar is a lot less than it was before.
Wait, do you guys have a good volume?
And so how can that account for
Maybe it was me
all of
all
our
along.
health problems? Well, you're about to find out. Let's first dive into the benefits of what would happen after just 2 weeks of not eating sugar. The first thing you would notice is your face would be less round, okay, less puffy. I used to have kind of a puffy, roundish face. Now, it's not a full-blown moon face, but it was definitely rounder and it wasn't as thin as it is now. So the shape of your face will change because you're going to have less fat in your face. Number 2, you're going to notice less puffy eyelids. You can always identify how much sugar someone's consuming by looking at how puffy their eyelids are. In fact, I had puffy eyelids for many years. I didn't know what it was. But after I get rid of the sugar, that puffiness went away. Number 3, your midsection, your belly fat will reduce. Too much sugar converts to excess liver fat, which then spills over into your gut, the fat around the organs, giving you belly fat. So belly fat is a really good indication that you're eating too many carbs. Number 4, your cravings for carbs will go down to 0. You just will not want carbs anymore. But even a little bit of sugar here and there will keep that craving persisting to the point where it's going to be really hard to give it up. This next one, number 5, your hunger is going to go way down. You're not going to be hungry all the time. You're going to feel satisfied, which is going to be huge if you want to stick to any type of plan. It's torturous to crave things and be hungry all the time when you're trying to lose weight. So sugar increases insulin, and insulin makes you hungry. The next one is your mood is going to greatly improve. If you were depressed before, if you had anxiety before, you're probably going to be a lot calmer. You're going to feel more up.
Is it
I
true?
remember getting a success story from this
Yeah, I
gentleman
mean,
who
for
was
me,
very,
it's
very
I don't have
depressed,
any
avoided
sugar
suicide.
craving.
In fact, he wanted to kill himself. So
Not
he
the
locked
same
himself
for
in his
Nina,
room.
but she
He
was
stopped
heavy sugar
eating,
addict, right?
Everything. So he
She was
doing
like giga
fast.
candy
Of
to
course,
get this.
when
It
you're
was
fasting,
more
you're
like the
not eating
habit
sugar,
of eating
and
something,
your
I
body's in
think,
the
that stayed with
ketosis.
you, like
And so
smoking and whatever.
by the 3rd day, he felt wonderful.
But I never
His depression went away. And so intermittent fasting or fasting
had any
and
craving.
lowering your carbs create a similar effect. Number 7, your attention will be much, much better. I remember when I was on a high-carb diet, boy, did I have brain fog. I had no idea that it was coming from all this sugar. I didn't make the connection until one day I decided to give up the sugar, and it was like someone took this brain fog helmet off of my head, and I finally actually can think. Number 8, your
Nice
fluid
editing.
retention will go away. I used to have it. I can press my finger into my ankles and it would leave a dent. That's pitting edema. I had
the
that. I had no idea that was all the sugar that I was consuming. Sugar retains fluid. And this relates to the next point as well. Your eyes are going to improve, your kidneys will improve, your arteries will improve, and your nerves will get better, because those are the 4 tissues that higher amounts of sugar will affect. And when it comes down to the eye, you can gain more fluid into the eye, increasing your risk for glaucoma when you have high amounts of sugar in your blood. Because think about this, if you have this concentrated sugar in your blood, well, it pushes off into other fluids, like in your eye, as well as in your lens of the eye, which can lead to cataracts. Number 9, your pain and your inflammation will go down considerably. Boy, it's not until you reduce your sugars that you'll realize how much of that was contributing to either arthritis or inflammation or pain in your body. Until you eventually give it up, and you're going to be amazed how much less inflammation you have in your body. Number 10, your bloating, your abdominal pain will go down. But I can't
speak much for these because I never had these to begin with. But
abdominal pain from eating so much sugar. Number 11, your sleep will be much better. I remember one time when I had really bad sleeping problems when I was consuming a lot of carbs. What did I do to solve it? Ate more carbs. In fact, I would consume, I'm not kidding, a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream before bed just to have...
Smartest doctor.
Osas. I said, you can't. It's very simple. It's very simple. Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas. Oh my God. God. Understand? We are from Osas TV. Good afternoon, my dear. So we just it's very simple. Understand? So we just want you to pronounce my name. So my name now Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas. Now, it's very simple, very simple name.
He's really milking this name clip
Very simple. Pronounce. Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue.
Okay, Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue.
Ugbemugbem, osas. Very good. You get that? I've even said me pronounce and one, but no wahala. Did they get us well? My name now Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas. Can you help me pronounce my name, please?
Can you pronounce it again?
Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas.
Wait, let me take it one by one.
Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas.
Ovuvuevuevue, I don't know how to pronounce it.
So this guy is a professor for Nnamdi Azikiwe University. He's a professor. So I want him to pronounce my name. My name now Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas. So I want to make it Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, ugbemugbem, osas. So I want me to pronounce the name.
Okay, make I pronounce.
My name.
My own name.
My own.
No.
I want me to say loud.
Okay, also no, because Ovuvuevuevue, that's your osas.
Ugbemugbem, osas.
Ovuvuevuevue, enyetuenwuevue, osas.
Ha!
Close enough.
Israel, ancestral land of the Jewish people. Few would dare tell its great history. Many believe it to be a long, complex, highly controversial story. However, you've been lied to. Israel's history is simple, objective, and, as the Torah teaches us, best told through the Fallout experience. So, much like inspecting a terrorist outpost after being bombed by the Israeli Air Force, by the time we're done, you'll quickly realize that Israel did nothing wrong. Thousands of years ago, the Jewish people were chosen by God and promised the Holy Land. Whether it was because of their unfathomable IQ, moral purity, or high perseverance matters.
I feel like we watched this one.
What does matter is that everyone else was jelly as hell, couldn't take the banter, and destroyed the grand Jewish civilization. Renaming the Holy Land with the foreign imperialist name of Palestine.
I have seen this one, very unbiased. Yes, Sam Hall, thank you for tier 3, 15 months. Whoop! Much appreciated. 2 years on Kuikenson, Forsen, he says. Junior Golden E badge, my man. Alright, 3 years on Draco. Thank you. McCade Macwa. Ugbemugbem. Fireland Raider. Thank you for the prime sub. 7 years on Ninja Penguin. Boop. Thank you very much. Alright, I think we're good there. Amnia with the 2 years. Boop. A lot of anniversary subs here. Covered it hot. Thank you. Far too kind. Krista with the prime sub, welcome. Alright, we're good. We are good. We're good to go. Wait. Oh yeah, the sub raffle. We'll do it around, I don't know when. Around like 9 or so, or whatever. Usually 9 to 9:30 maybe. But yes, new playthrough today. A game I have actually never played. Saw by chance that they had a remastered version actually. BioShock 1. And I don't want to be called fake boomer because it's not even a boomer game. Alright, it's like millennial. Alright, it's a millennial game. But I feel like it's one of those games that I've been so high rated that I need to know what the fuck it's about. Alright, we have played BioShock Infinite. But we have not played the BioShock Originals, yes. So why not? Let's check it out. You are a fucking millennial retard. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Kanto, welcome. Fleshless, British Femboy, Filanovic, Bazef, welcome back. Thank you, boys. Oops. I just tried to get full screen because it wasn't full screen on my shit. I don't know if there was anything there.